Alright, and we are back with another D&D movie time. Cora, today we are watching the
List of Weapons 4!
As it stands right now, this is the final movie in the series. They're supposedly working on a 5th movie, but I'm not holding my breath, because they say that about a lot of movies that they're working on, and then those movies don't happen, even if the fans want them. And if they do want them, and they do sometimes release them, they usually end up being garbage anyway. So, this is probably the last good one we're ever going to get. So, are you ready to jump into Lethal Weapon 4? Before we start, what do you remember about the first 3 Lethal Weapons? What happened in the first one?
I should remember there was funny scenes and explosions in the cab.
That was in the 3rd one. I said the first one. Who are our main 2 characters?
I forgot the names!
Riggs and Murtaugh. And Riggs was kind of crazy. Why was he crazy?
Because his wife died.
Yeah. And Murtaugh, what was his line? What was his running gag line that he always says? I'm
too sneaky.
old.
I'm
too old for this.
I'm too old for this.
So, that was the first movie. They become best friends and partners, right?
Uh-huh.
Then in the second movie, what happened?
There's an explosion.
Well, there's explosions in all of them. But, well, Riggs they're chasing down some bad guys that have diplomatic immunity. Can you sit up with your feet down?
Yes.
But they're chasing bad guys with diplomatic immunity. Murtaugh gets threatened by the bad guys, and they put a bomb on his toilet. Remember? And then he begs Riggs to not tell anybody or not make a big deal out of it to get the bomb squad. And then everybody shows up. Then the bad guys wage war on the police and they kill a bunch of the police officers. Then Riggs pulls the house down and they come after Riggs, or they came after Riggs at one point, and they killed the girl he was falling in love with.
So now that's 2 girls that Riggs love with is dead.
Yep, and we find out that one of the main bad guys actually had killed Riggs' first wife. So that makes Riggs even madder. That's why he brings that house down off the cliff. And then they bring the bad guys down. And then we get into the 3rd movie. They save a cat from an explosion. Riggs and Murtaugh get demoted for that explosion, so now they're on regular street patrol.
And also, I believe, there's a drug dealer?
Well, quite a weapons dealer. Weapons and drugs.
Oh. Oof.
But he used to be a police officer, so he knew how to get in and out of the police station. And, one thing I didn't mention in that is, the last review is, actually, now that I've seen a lot more since then, the guy who was one of the robbers at the beginning of the movie that they chased in the armored car was Lucifer from Supernatural and Jacob from Lost. So,
You know I haven't watched it.
Well, our viewers might have watched it.
They might have not.
You've seen him though. He was the ex-husband or boyfriend in Dexter. The one that Dexter tricked and, he tricked his girlfriend into making her believe that her boyfriend was on drugs and stuff. But anyways, he's a minor character and some other things. But anyways, Riggs ends up meeting this new girl, and they end up falling in love with each other because they're both police officers.
And like I said, she died.
No, she didn't. This one didn't die. She got shot, but she was going to live. They were taking her off in a helicopter to the hospital at the end of the movie. Remember? During the big blowout.
Sorry, I don't.
And once again, Riggs and Murtaugh save the day. And for the last two movies, who's been involved with Riggs and Murtaugh? Who's been by their side?
A girl.
No. I said the last two movies. Since Lethal Weapon 2. You know his name. Anything you need, he gets. Right? Leo Getz?
Leo Getz?
Yeah, the guy from Home Alone.
Oh, the one that got hit with a brick?
No, that was Marv that got hit with the brick. He was the other one, Harry.
The other one! Yeah, I believe the other one also dead.
Harry was the one that dressed like a cop at the beginning of the first movie.
No wonder why he's in this movie that also involves cops.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to jump in. So she knows nothing about what's going to happen. And now we've caught you up on everything that happened in the previous three movies. So let's jump right into Lethal Weapon 4.
Bye! Ooh.
Take your clothes off. Come on down, boy! Slam over your turn, sees you in your undies, it distracts him, and that's when I shoot. Shoot what? The valve of that napalm tank. Hey, you know that little bitty bad boy shoots me? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. Am I in your butt here? Come on, Rod. Trust you! Come on, show him what you got. Show him what you got. Hey, I know. Are those little hearts? Hey, this is the damn valve. Change your damn shirt. Also, flap your arms to make noises like a bird. And flap your arms to make noises like a bird. Here he comes. Get going. I want to get him underwear, Riggs. Everybody's what are you waiting for? Shoot him. Shoot him. You think that bird needs help? No, I just wanted to see if you do it. Shoot short, son.
This July, this is one of the most painful experiences in my life. They're promoting you.
Captain Riggs.
Captain Murtaugh. Better reload. Think you can stay off the streets and out of trouble?
Yeah, absolutely.
And take aim. Because your number is up.
That's some bad Chinese.
We never talked about marriage.
You want to get married? You got the right to remain silent. You have the right to get an attorney. If you get Johnny Cochran, I'll kill you. How you doing? I'm Mel Gibson. Yeah, I look a little different, but it's the same old Mel. It's gonna be a lethal summer.
Alright, so we are back. We just finished watching
These are weapons.
Lethal Weapon 4. So, overall, did you like the story and the... Did you like it?
Yes.
What was... Did you have a favorite part?
like not the end, but the end. Well, also the end, but
Well, what about the end? What part of the end? Explain yourself. Explain your favorite part.
when they actually got pregnant.
What?
When the girl got pregnant.
I mean, he was giving birth
Yeah.
and they got married on the fly?
Yes.
My favorite part is probably the highway chase scene where Riggs is kind of surfing on the table and that Chinese guy is trying to run him over.
And it's like goes ahead and grabs from the table's legs and then yeet.
But he misses. Just barely.
You're like, it was so close.
Yeah. Alright, so now that you've met everybody, this is going to be a two-part question. Who is your favorite character in this movie?
I would probably say the one that says jacket.
Riggs?
Yeah, Riggs.
Alright, that leads me to my next question. From all the Lethal Weapon movies, who's your all-time favorite character?
Also Riggs.
Also Riggs?
Don't ask questions.
I thought you would have said Leo. That's probably my all-time favorite.
But I would say Leo, but he wasn't in the first one.
It doesn't matter. He was in this one, and he's been in most of the series since 2. So, he's in 2, 3, and 4. That's 75% of the movies.
Yeah, but I thought you were talking about...
No, I said throughout all the series, all the characters you've met, who was your favorite? And you said Riggs. Mine is probably Leo.
Even in this one?
In this one, they kind of sidelined Leo a little bit. You got less of him, but he does have good moments. I would have liked to have maybe seen a little bit more Chris Rock than we got, but I did like Chris Rock. But I'll get into talking about him when we get into the scores. So, did you understand what was going on in this movie?
No.
Okay. Well, they were bringing in these Chinese people to be slaves and to work for their freedom. And some of the prisoners, or some of the slaves they were bringing in, were a special family to this artist, this Chinese artist. And the Chinese artist was working off paying for his family by creating these plates of Chinese money. He was duplicating plates of Chinese money so they could make fake money.
Yeah, but then the cops found out.
The cops got involved because they almost literally ran into Riggs and Murtaugh on Murtaugh's boat. And it turns out that the Chinese mob, basically, mafia, the triad, they were going to pay to release 4 of their biggest bosses. 4 of their big guys that are high up in the mob. And they were going to buy them with fake money. So Riggs and Murtaugh found out and ruined the plan. And that's basically what this movie was about. So, there's a lot of side stories going on. What was your all-time favorite Riggs prank? When Riggs kept pulling the same joke on Murtaugh all the time in each movie, what was your favorite? I think the only one he didn't do something like that was the first movie.
I would probably say this one.
With the newspaper article? When he keeps taping it up?
Yeah.
This is your captain speaking. Can we stop this? It's very unprofessional.
Yeah.
I like when he tells everybody to watch his daughter's commercial, and then they start messing with him about rubbers throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that's
You probably don't get that because you're too young for that, but
yeah, that's funny, but like all kids will always do. I don't actually understand it.
Which movie had your favorite intro? Your favorite beginning?
But definitely not explosions. Definitely this
So
one.
3s? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one just had fire and him mostly naked, squawking like a duck or a chicken.
Yes. And then like
You think that helped? No, I just wanted to see if you'd do it. But, yeah, so, alright, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give our final scores.
Bye.
Hello there. I promise we'll get right back to the video shortly. I just wanted to say that many writers, YouTubers, readers, and gamers often talk about one thing that they all share in common, and that is drinking coffee. And perhaps you're tired of going out and ordering expensive high-end coffees and cappuccinos from huge corporations, and are looking for a way to have that same or better coffee brewed right in your own home. So I want to ask that you consider trying Coffee Brand Coffee. You can order from an array of different blends that will be delivered right to your door. And if coffee is not your thing, they also have teas, cocos, and chocolates. Why am I doing this, you may ask? Well, for a long time now, I have been a fan of a channel called The Quartering, which is constantly reporting on the news, and the head of the channel, Jeremy, has worked really hard for his viewers over the time I've watched this channel. He has done so much, helping out others and smaller channels, working hard to make several videos a day, which I can tell you, does take quite a good amount of work. And recently, he started his own coffee company. So if you're willing to try and change to a better coffee, tea, or K-cup because you need that sweet caffeine fix to get you through writing that next novel, reading that next book, playing that new video game long into the late hours of the night, or starting off early in the morning for a long live stream, then head over to the website for Coffee Brand Coffee or check out the channel The Quartering and see what delicious specials they have going on.
For thousands of years, the world has been protected by the Guardian of Light, or as he is more commonly known, Santa Claus. Over the centuries, factors such as fear and prejudice, greed and jealousy, misunderstandings, betrayal and war have segregated most humans from the magical world of elves, fairies, wizards, and the like. This has resulted in many misconceptions and generalizations of the true nature of Santa and his world.
This 6-book series by Sean Connaughton begins as the current of a long series of guardians is murdered by a group of monstrous enemies recently escaped from an enchanted South Pole prison. These creatures are loyal to the darkness, an evil force determined to exterminate the light in order to enslave all creatures of the world.
Shane Connor, an average young man, suddenly finds himself being trained as the new Guardian. As he adapts to his new life among fantastic creatures, he goes on an adventurous quest with a legendary wizard for the ultimate weapon to use against the darkness, and faces murderous enemies like Rasputin, Morgana Le Fay, Krampus, and many more.
Along with his best friend Joe Gomez, Shane encounters politics, history, mysterious murders, new loves, his own hidden past, and racial dynamics among the fantasy races that turn out to be all too real. Their adventures reveal the true nature of the world and challenge the current state of how all races interact.
This series expertly melds myths, legends, history, faiths, folklore, and secret societies into a fascinating, cohesive, comprehensive world of wonder and magic.
From Atlantis to Olympus, from Hades to the moon, and from broomstick races to Christmas deadlines, join the new Santa Claus on his amazing journey. But beware, Will Shane's quest achieve his ultimate goal of destroying the darkness and preserving the light of the world? Or is he actually playing right into a plot by dark forces that will result in his, and our, ultimate doom?
So make your list and check it twice for the Guardian of Light book series. Download your audiobook or ebook today from Audible, Amazon, or iTunes.
Alright, and we're back. So, starting with Cora. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this Lethal Weapon movie? Lethal Weapon 4.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. You liked it that much?
Yeah.
There were a few parts, though, you were almost falling asleep.
Sorry.
This must be tired.
Well, I'm not anymore.
Yeah, for me, I would probably have to say I give this a 7 out of 10.
What the? Why?
Why? Well, a few reasons. First off, there are some plot lines in here that would have been better if they expanded on them more. For instance, if Chris Rock had had more involvement throughout the entire movie, not just come in a little bit, leave for a while, come in for a little bit, leave for a while. If it had actually been him more involved, maybe than Danny Glover, that way we could, like, see his potential, and it would have been funnier. Also, whenever Chris Rock was on screen, a lot of the things Chris Rock was saying, although it was good and I enjoyed it, it is funny stuff, it just felt more like he was doing one of his stand-up routines rather than being a character in the movie. Almost like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I would probably say that. That's like, I didn't like legs. I didn't like
Butters.
Butters.
Yeah, that's his name, Butters.
Yeah, I don't
Sergeant Butters.
I don't like Butters in this movie. Not the Butters from South Park.
I was wondering if you were going to put that together. That his name was the same.
I'm the funniest kid.
I was wondering how, you never mentioned it during the movie. I was like, when is she going to realize that it's the same name as the character of the kid in South Park? I mean, you haven't watched that much South Park, but you have played Stick of Truth a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, but I do remember the characters. I do remember some characters.
Butters is the best character from South Park, though.
Yeah.
But, no, it's just a lot of little things like that. I liked the movie. It just felt like they were holding a lot back. And they didn't go full out like they usually do. Like, I was noticing, because I hardly saw any explosions in this one.
Yeah, me too.
There was a fire in the house. There was, like, maybe one explosion near the beginning with the boat. But that was about it. And that was just to start a fire. It wasn't even that big of an explosion.
Yeah.
Oh, and the guy's tank on his back exploded. After those, it's like, oh, we wasted all our money on those explosions. We only had a budget for 2 small explosions. That's like if you go out to a fireworks show and they just light off 2 bottle rockets. And it's like, okay, folks, that's all we had the money for this year. Sorry. So, I mean, I like it, but I felt a lot was held back, and they really pulled back. They should have gone bigger and better, you know. But it also was a lot jokier, and yet the one spot where they could have held back a little bit was probably with the foul language. I would have liked a lot more explosions than foul language.
Yeah, so killing Riggs and Weapons 4 is a kids movie with the language and Butters. Again, not the Butters from South Park.
I know. But, yeah, that's why it's a 7 out of 10 for me. Mostly because of that. Okay, Cora. Ranking time. Ranking time.
Let's go up.
So, put the movies in order from your... I mean, I'm getting you're like me. You like all 4 of these movies, right?
Yeah.
But which one did you like the least to the most?
I know my weekend will match the 10 out of 10, 1 out of 1 stuff, but number 4 will be at the bottom because it's the foul language and no explosion and stuff like.
Okay.
And I think number 1 only had some explosions, so it'll be right next to number 4.
So number 3. Number 1 is number 3. Keep going.
And number 3 is
Number 2. You're on 2 now. You're going up. 4, 3, 2, 1. So what's number 2? Yes, it's on top of 4, which means it's 3.
No! It's not fair! Do I have to go?
Cora, when you do a ranking, you go from the bottom number to the top number. What is the number 1 movie?
Okay, the number 1 movie.
Well, you're missing one. Okay, we got 4 at number 4. 1 at number 3. No, what's number 2?
No, not 1 at number 3. Okay.
If you were stacking, if the 4 movies are blocks and you're putting them on top of each other, you put 4 on the bottom, then you put number 1. What's the next block going to be? 2 or 3?
And 3, I think, was the one with a lot of explosions. So that'd be second because I'm not really sure. Second one also same thing.
Well, you got to put 1 on top. So which one's going on top? 3 or 2?
2.
2 is on top. Okay. So your ranking is number 4 at number 4, number 1 at number 3, number 3 at number 2, and finally number 1 is Lethal Weapon 2. Alright, now for me, I would have to say, coming in at number 4 is Lethal Weapon 4.
Of course.
Coming in at number 3 is Lethal Weapon 3.
But
Coming in at number 2 is Lethal Weapon 1. And just like Cora, I gotta agree with her here, number 2 is the best. Number 2 is definitely number 1.
let's go.
So, that is our ranking of the 4 movies now that we are all done. And, yeah, that's going to wrap up this. We hope you enjoyed the Lethal Weapon reviews. And if there's anything you really want to see us review, let us know down in the comments below. We're getting real close to the next set of 10, folks. So, keep pushing, helping us get new subscribers. If this is your first time and you're finding us through these, we really hope you enjoy the content, and we look forward to reviewing more movies.
Like, comment, subscribe.
We'll catch you all in the next video.
Bye.